All right, guys, we're gonna make some homemade biscuits for breakfast. And these are my ingredients that you see here. We're gonna use a half cup of country crock. We're gonna use 1 beaten egg, 5 tablespoons of stevia. This is in replacement of sugar. Then we have milk. We're gonna use 3/4 cup of milk, 2 cups of self-rising flour, and that's it. That's all you need. All right, so I'm gonna share with you guys how to put everything together. All right, so I got my mixing bowl here, or at least this is my bowl that I'm going to be mixing everything in. So what I did was I took a sandwich bag, I turned it inside out, used it as a glove, took some country crock out of here and just rubbed it all in the center, or rubbed it inside of the bowl. And the reason I do this is because I don't want to waste a whole lot of flour. Another technique that I do is spray my bowl with some Pam, some non-cooking spray, non-stick spray, and that ensures that you don't waste a whole lot of flour and you actually use majority, if not all, of everything that you're putting in here. So we're gonna put in the 2 cups of self-rising flour in here. You put all the dry ingredients in here first, and then you put the wet ingredients last. So we're gonna go ahead and put the flour in. We're gonna put the stevia, and then we're gonna pour our milk, and then we're gonna beat our egg and put it in here too. All right, so we got our 2 cups of flour. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a fork and I'm just gonna stir the flour to get all the lumps out, which is also known as the sifting process. I don't have a sifter, so I'm just gonna use a fork, and that works just as good. So we're gonna go ahead and stir the flour in here. We're just trying to get all the lumps out, that's all. And then we're going to dig a well in the center here. This is where we're going to pour all the wet ingredients in right here. And then we're just going to combine the flour into the wet ingredients and then stir everything together to make a sticky dough. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the stevia in here. Then we're going to add our beaten egg and then our milk. All right, there's my 5 tablespoons of stevia. I'm going to go ahead and mix this in the flour here. This is going to ensure that the biscuits have some flavor in addition to everything else that's going in here, and that the biscuits are not bitter. We have some good tasting biscuits. Now the biscuits are not going to be like sweet, but the whole point of the sweetener is to balance the taste out with everything that's going in here, so that you don't have any bland or bitter tasting biscuits. So that's why you add sweetener to it. A lot of people don't, but that's like the old school way of making biscuits. People put sugar in it, and that's what everybody ate back in the day, and people kind of got away from that for whatever reason. But you don't have to use sugar. You could use stevia or any type of sweetener really will do. If you want, you can even add honey to this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add our milk. We're gonna add our beaten egg and our butter here. I'm gonna melt a half cup of this, pour in here with the milk and the beaten egg. All right, so I mixed my beaten egg, my milk, and my margarine all together. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in the flour here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna stir everything together so that we have a really tacky, sticky dough so that we can work with. All right, this is our dough here. It's real tacky. It's not gonna be all nice and neat. It's supposed to be tacky. Now, if your dough come out a little bit too wet, all you have to do is just add a little bit more flour, but my dough is just right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this wet dough on a floured surface so that we can start putting the dough together, start folding it, and making layers in the biscuits to cut out. All right, so that's how my dough looks. What I like to do is I like to put some foil down on my kitchen countertop. That way I don't have to use the kitchen countertop, and then just put some flour on top of it. Actually, what I do is I put my foil, aluminum foil down, then I spray it with nonstick spray, then I put some flour down, then I put my wet dough on here, and what I did was I folded it. There you hear my oven is ready. Always preheat your oven before it's time for the biscuits to go in. So anyway, what I did was I patted the dough out and then folded several times. I do it about 15 to 20 times. You want to make sure your dough is about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. And each time that you press it down, fold it, press it down, fold it, you do it several times. What you're doing is making layers in the biscuits. So this is ready to go. I'm gonna start to cut biscuits out of this dough so that I can put in my cast iron skillet. All right, it's time to start cutting the biscuits out. So I just take a cup or glass and roll it around in some flour, and then just simply press down all the way like so, and then lift up just like that. And you keep doing this over and over and over. Do not twist. If you twist, you will seal the biscuits and they won't rise as much or rise at all. Okay, see like that? All you have to do is just pull up and just simply repeat the process. I'm gonna finish up, then I'm gonna show you putting them in the cast iron skillet before we put them in the oven. All right, so this is what we have here. We have 3 here, and then I have 8 more in my cast iron skillet. I didn't want to waste my dough, so I used every bit of it. And about two of these I hand roll, and then the rest of these I cut out. All right, so I'm actually gonna put these in another. I'm gonna put these in a baking dish, put some foil, spray with some nonstick spray, and then I'm going to put these as well as these in the oven. I got my oven already preheated, it's ready to go at 425. We're gonna cook the biscuits for about 15 minutes and then take them out. And there you have it. This is 15 minutes later. These are how the biscuits are looking. Look at that. That's why you always spray your cast iron skillet so your biscuits don't stick. I spray non-stick spray on this foil too, look. The biscuits will not stick if you do that, all right? So we're gonna let the biscuits cool, and then I'm gonna show you the rest of my breakfast before I sit down and eat. All right, there's our chicken and grits, and then I'm gonna grab 2 of these. Look at that, they're not hard, they're not burnt on the bottom. I'm gonna grab this one right here. We're gonna put this on our plate. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna have some breakfast to eat, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that you give this biscuit recipe a try. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you like it, definitely comment on the video. All right, guys, we're getting ready to eat here. I got my cheese grits. I got some leftover chicken, and we're gonna take a bite of the biscuits. And the grits are a hit every single time I make them. Let's go ahead and take a bite of one of these biscuits here. Wow. These are very buttery. I think I need to keep making them with country crock. These are really good. These country crock biscuits are a hit. Definitely got to add the egg. A lot of people make biscuits with no egg, but the egg is what's gonna enhance the flavor of the biscuit. And these are like really, really buttery. I usually make them with regular butter instead of margarine, but like you can't even tell the difference, to be honest with you. You can't tell, in my opinion, you can't tell the difference. It tastes like butter. Well, these biscuits are definitely a hit. I'm gonna keep making them with country crock. They soft and tender on the inside. They're not hard like some biscuits you get in a restaurant or like Popeyes. And these are way better than Popeyes biscuits, way better. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe.